The Book of Psalms 91, starting with verse 8. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold, and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord, Yahawashi, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. First of all, I'd like to give all great honor to Yahawashi, Kadesh. Double honors to teachers, elders, and apostles of Great Millstone. Likewise, brothers, put on this truth. Faithfully, fearlessly feeding the sheep and you brothers and sisters tuning in. Shalom. Today's lesson's title, A Yahawashi, Approved Message to Esau. Let's go into our first scripture here. This is the book of Ezekiel 35, starting with verse 1. And it reads, Moreover, the word of the Lord Yahawashi came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus said the Lord Power, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, Yahawashi. Now many out there will say, why would you want something like this to happen to America, which the scripture calls spiritual Sodom and Egypt, and also Great Babylon America? Well, the scripture tells you the reason for this great destruction that's going to come to the land of Great Babylon America. And it reads, Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Now, Esau have always been cruel to the children of Israel. Now, there's no coincidence. Here we are in the year 2026. And on the third day, this man has invaded, basically, Venezuela, and our tribes that are down there are known as Asher, or the Asherites, And you have our people rejoicing in the streets all across the earth, celebrating what they believe to be the ousting of a dictator. But little do they know, the liberation isn't for their benefit. The liberation is for the benefit of the elites, the greedy one, the oppressor. And our people are about to learn down there in Venezuela, Colombia, Uruguay, and all of the surrounding nations down there, where the children of Israel from the northern kingdom and mixture of the southern kingdom abide. They're about to experience the beginning of what is known as Jacob's trouble. Let's take a look at this short clip of this wicked devil boasting before we move on.
Mr. President, you said that the U.S. is going to run Venezuela. So who's in power right now?
Well, we're going to be running it with a group, and we're going to make sure it's run properly. We're going to rebuild the oil infrastructure, which will cost billions of dollars. It'll be paid for by the oil companies directly. They will be reimbursed for what they're doing, but that's going to be paid. And we're going to get the oil flowing the way it should be. As you know, it was just a minor flow. It was actually a minor flow for what they have. But we're going to run it properly, and we're going to make sure the people of Venezuela are taken care of. We're going to make sure the people that were forced out of Venezuela by this thug are also taken care of.
Mr. President, does the U.S. running the country mean that U.S. troops will be on the ground? How will that work?
Well, they always say boots on the ground. So we're not afraid of boots on the ground if we have to have. We had boots on the ground last night at a very high level, actually. We're not afraid of it. We don't mind saying it, but we're going to make sure that that country is run properly. We're not doing this in vain. This is a very dangerous attack. This is an attack that could have gone very, very badly. Could have gone very badly. We could have lost a lot of people last night. We could have lost a lot of dignity. We could have lost a lot of equipment. The equipment is less important, but we could have lost a lot. And we're going to make sure that this is proper. We're there now. We're ready to go again if we have to. We're going to run the country right. It's going to be run very judiciously, very fairly. It's going to make a lot of money. We're going to give money to the people. We're going to reimburse people that were taken advantage of. We're going to take care of everybody. It's very important. We couldn't let them get away with it. You know, they stole our oil. We built that whole industry there, and they just took it over like we were nothing. And we had a president that decided not to do anything about it. So we did something about it. We're late, but we did something about it. Yeah, please.
Can you explain the exact mechanism by which you're going to run the country? Are you going to designate a U.S. official to coordinate?
Yes, it's all being done right now. We're designating people. We're talking to people. We're designating various people, and we're going to let you know who those people are.
And as you saw in this video, okay, you know, he's the accuser of our brethren. This is the same man, okay, that not too long ago were calling the Venezuelans criminals. He said that Maduro was sending criminals to America. And this is how he look at you. And yet still you rejoice out in the street. You think you've been liberated. But little do you know. Let's go into the book of Jeremiah 49 and starting with verse 16 it reads, Thy terribleness had deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. Thou holdest the height of the hill. Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, said the Lord Yahawashi. So you can look at the video clip and you can see, you know, and I'll do a separate lesson on this. You know, they're going into all kinds of plans that they have, you know, of putting whatever government that they want to put there. Okay. You know, he's using smooth words like their lives are going to be better. He's going to give money to the poor. Okay, isn't that what he promised to his people here in Great Babylon, America? And what is the result of his promise? So do you really believe that if he couldn't do it here in Great Babylon, America, which has been sanctioned by the Lord, Yahawashi, for destruction, do you think he's going to be able to commit to his promises down there in a nation that he claims sends only criminals to his precious America? He's down there for the oil. He's down there for the oil because they're going to need the oil, okay, to be able to sell it so they could basically pay for missiles, equipments, men, soldiers, people that they're going to need, or the resources they're going to need for when the world come against them. Because you bet the other nations, especially the ones that look at Venezuela as an innocent nation being bullied by a brutal dictatorship here in Great Babylon, America, they're sharpening their weapons right now, okay? Their weapons of war. The Lord is putting a spirit in them to come up against this nation. And it reads, Also Edom should be a desolation, everyone that goeth by it should be astonished, and shall hiss at the plagues thereof, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, said the Lord Yahawashi. No man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. So this is a message from the Mashiach. This is a message from the Most High Yahawashi, spoken through his prophets. No matter what you do, Esau, you have been sanctioned for destruction. Great Babylon, America is going to be destroyed. Let's go to the book of Malachi 1 and start with verse 1, because there's always going to be those that have that, you know, basically they have that feeling for the enemy, the oppressor, the murderer, the one that takes peace from earth. And you can see here the crashing came to the Lord Yahawashi. Let's go into the scripture. It says, the burden of the word of the Lord Yahawashi to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, said the Lord Yahawashi. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau as Jacob's brother? So you see, there is 2/3 of our people, no matter how much they're judged by this man, they are going to still show love for him, compassion, quick to forgive, quick to forget. But they won't do that for their brothers and sisters. No, 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 no. Okay? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, said the Lord Yahawashi? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build a desolate places. Thus said the Lord of hosts, Yahawashi, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahawashi had indignation forever. So he can steal all the early wants from Venezuela. They could use the oil to hold hostage other nation, in trade deals, finance their war. Okay, because these are a lot of warmongers here. But at the end of the day, even though they would build themselves up, with their AI technology, and have their dictatorship down there oppressing the children of Asher, it makes no difference. At the end of the day, you Edomites are going into 1,000 years of perpetual slavery, and your elites who will survive the destruction of Great Babylon America, because they'll be on the other side of the world in those bunkers that they're building, they, will know that the Lord Yahawashi does not favor them. Let's go into the book. Let's close up with the book of Revelation 18 and start verse 20. Because this is the spirit that we're in. Because we know this is going to happen. So that's a great job that he did out there in Venezuela. Now they're going to be so-called Venezuelans, or children of Asher, who are going to be saved. But from the looks of it, a lot of you Venezuelans, so-called Venezuelans, you seem to be rejoicing that the so-called white man came to your rescue. But we'll see. This is Revelation 18, verse 20 reads, "Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostle and prophets, for power had avenged you on her. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all." So that's the message right there. At some point in time, after you've done your work as a hireling for the Lord Yahawashi, the elect has been sealed. Great Babylon America will be destroyed. Lord willing, the elect was edified. That goes up and giving all glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushai Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, Shalom.